Opening shot, the mayor's controversial proposal for an employee head tax on large businesses crashes and burns. City Council sent a strong message to the mayor with a 25-10 vote against the tax in today's meeting of the Finance Committee. But it wasn't just that they rejected. Lost in the hoopla is more than 20 other taxes, fees, and fines that the mayor's team has proposed hiking. And let's give you a sampling of what they are. And I need to take a deep breath here. Wheel tax, personal property tax, regulated limited business license tax, food business license, commercial boat, passenger license, recycling facility, operator fine, annual food establishment inspection fee, public health violation inspection fee, boat mooring tax, rideshare congestion fee expansion, storage and towing fee, livery vehicle license, commercial driveway permit fee, canopy construction, on and on and on and on. You get the picture. There's a lot. So Mayor Johnson said today, fine, you don't like all of this, come at me with some better ideas.
Ask them if they support raising property taxes in Inglewood and North Lawndale. Ask them if they support collecting a grocery tax. Ask them that. If you ask me, guess what I'm going to tell you? I'm going to tell you no, because I believe in being straight up with the people of the city of Chicago. There are two options here. We challenge these big corporations and the ultra-rich to put more skin in the game, or you ask people who are standing in line for bread, milk, and food and clothing, ask them to put more skin in the game.
But the 25 alders voting no stood firm, saying, especially amid this news of higher property taxes for the South and West Side, voters want us to search every couch cushion for savings instead.
I want to make perfectly clear that this committee right here is willing and able to stand and work with the mayor to come up with a balanced budget. The notion that we are not bringing ideas to the forefront is a farce. We are willing and able, anytime, anywhere, we will meet to help pass a responsible, balanced budget. We just want cuts and efficiencies.
So the mayor today called for a pause on any further budget votes. Any hopes of getting this passed before enjoying a nice steaming turkey with all the fixings is out the window. This as the legislative sausage making goes on. Tonight, the mayor's controversial employee head tax flames out. So what'll he and City Council come up with now? Property owners across the South and West Sides are opening their tax bills and seeing hikes as much as 100% or more. Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas explains why. And why a group of well-known and esteemed retired broadcast journalists decided to speak with one voice to oppose the aggressive deportation raids that have rocked Chicago since September. Welcome to the Chicago Report. I'm Paris Schutz. The aforementioned employee head tax was given a big thumbs down by City Council today, and so it is back to the drawing board to find a budget for the coming year and close a $1.15 billion gap. Where does the city go from here? To answer that is 32nd Ward Alderman Scott Waguespack and 28th Ward Alderman Jason Irvin, who is chair of City Council's Budget Committee. Thanks to all of you. Alderman Waguespack, you heard the mayor, so you and 24 of your colleagues were opposed to these taxes. Does that mean you want to balance the budget on the backs of working people?
Absolutely not. And I think we've shown over and over again over the last several months that all of us who are providing opportunities in this budget for the mayor to take on have been doing it in a way that wasn't detrimental to working families out there. I mean, it was actually the mayor who proposed the grocery tax, the garbage tax, and a property tax last year. So what we've been saying is, we agree. We don't want to push those things. We want things in the Ernst & Young report that the taxpayers paid almost $3.5 million for. And we're saying utilize everything that they found in there, which is hundreds of millions of dollars. Can it all be done overnight? No. But I think if we put our minds to it and work together collaboratively, it can get done.
Alderman Irvin, what about that? Would you support more of the recommendations in that EY report becoming part of the budget, hundreds of millions of dollars potentially of savings?
A lot of those recommendations are already included in the budget calculations that have been made thus far. As Alderman Waguespack said, many of these are going to take time to implement, but a lot of the things that can be implemented fairly immediately have been implemented in this budget. I mean, at the end of the day, the only decision that others are looking to make for are service cuts and police cuts that, unfortunately, I know our residents do not want to see.
And Alderman Waguespack, the mayor is saying, fine, come at us with some other proposals. Do you have other options that would get to that $100 million that the head tax was supposed to bring in?
Yeah, actually, a couple days ago, I sent a letter and actually to Chairman Irvin, but he did pass it on to the administration. It went to the mayor's office too, and it was essentially looking and finding 30 to 60 million dollars or more of savings that we could get this year just in the Ernst and Young report that I and several others found. So we look at it and say, if the mayor wants to jam through a head tax, that's a job killer for the city. That's par for the course for him. He doesn't like big business. He doesn't like our small businesses. And I've been very frustrated with his approach to that, as well as many others. But I think what we're looking at here is saying, when you have opportunities in front of you, you need to take them. So we did provide several options right off the bat. And colleagues like Gil Villegas, I have worked on this delivery tax that could produce $100+ million, and it's environmentally friendly, as well as helping to ease the burden on working families. So I think we need to look at those options first.
Alderman,
How does
go
a
ahead, Irvin.
delivery tax ease the burden on working families when it's working families that are having packages and things delivered to their homes? Again, I think these conversations are being a little duplicitous in the fact that everything that they're putting on the table is going to harm working families or cut services that our residents depend upon. Those ideas that you submitted in the letter that you sent to me, all of those have already been considered in the budget, and you know that. Again, this is a situation where people ultimately want to cut services from the city of Chicago or either raise your income taxes, property taxes, or grocery taxes. There are no other ways in this conversation.
Alderman Waguespack, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, again, I read the EY report, and I found it fascinating the other day when the budget director, and this was late in the evening, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night last week, where we were staying through, trying to push through some of these ideas, reading through everything and saying, look, there are still a lot of these options that were left on the table. The EY report only looked at 22 of the departments and offices within city government. So, what we need to do is look at the dozens of other ones out there, look at supervisor to field, operations, and see how many people are in the supervisory roles, deputy roles. I mean, if you look at the things like the salaries, they've gone through the roof this year too. We've had increases in committees. We've had increases across the board that I think we need to look at and say, hey, maybe this year we hold it back.
All right.
One other point I would make on this procurement report within the EY document, the reform document, was people don't realize the city of Chicago has $4.6 billion of indirect spend every single year. And there are contracts out there for vendors where they might have 8 to 10 contracts with multiple departments. Those are things that we can look at today and say, let's put a stop to that. Let's consolidate these contracts. It's very simple.
Alderman
and I
Irvin,
think what we're missing is the opportunity to do that.
Can you look at all those things?
I think all of those things are in the process of being looked at. I think these silos and everything that has been brought about has happened over a period of years. You cannot unwind purchasing contracts all in one year. Again, I think the city does have some challenges, but be that as it may, we still can work through and find solutions to those, but those things are not going to happen overnight. And I think everyone knows that the things that could be dealt with this year have been in process to be dealt with this year. I think at the end of the day, the only thing that they're ultimately going to bring to the table are either more taxes or service cuts.
All right. Well, you've got a lot of work to do here before the end of the year, and we will continue to follow this. My thanks for having you here tonight. And when we come back, those property tax bills, Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas explains why they have gone up so dramatically.